Well, good morning. Trucker Todd here, and time for the Friday video. As you know, since our last video on Wednesday, there's a lot of bad things going on in the world. Russia attacked Ukraine. If you're seeing the images on TV, it's just horrific. You guys know that I try to avoid politics and stuff like that, so at this point I'm not going to comment on that too much. In a future video, depending on how it goes, I may comment at a later date. But I said all that to say this. You guys have noticed, even prior to that, fuel prices are climbing. I mentioned in the last video that in 481 cities, the average home value right now is over $1 million. And that's just crazy. You guys have noticed that fuel prices are climbing. You've noticed that food prices are climbing. Well, heck, pretty much everything's climbing. And as this happens, a few things are going to happen. For one, you should see a fuel surcharge increase weekly. I expect fuel to possibly even double in price. So if you're at a company and you're not getting a fuel surcharge, you probably need to find another company, or you're going to starve out as fuel prices climb. Also, hopefully, if you're running this as a business, you're looking for ways to reduce your fuel consumption and your fuel expenditures. Now, you guys know in the description below, I talk about the Mudflap app. That's something that you need to use my link. You get $10 off your first fill up if you do it within the first 5 days. But what else can you do besides using an app to save fuel going down the road? In this video, I'm going to talk about that. So let's not waste any more time. Let's cue up the music and jump into today's subject. Here we go.
And this is why I do this, why I'm out here, why I keep that hammer down, flying by these road signs with home on my mind, with these wheels turning round, for my family and for my kids, for this life I wanna live. And this is why I do this.
Alrighty, we're back. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, share it on your social media platforms, and look below the video to make sure that you're still subscribed. After you hit the subscribe button, a bell will pop up. Click that bell, select all. It's free to do. You'll be notified when future videos come out. Now, I get asked a lot of questions. Todd, that song's kind of catchy. Who sings it? Where can I get a copy? Todd, I'd like to apply at Dart. How do I do it? All of that stuff is in the description below. There's a lot of great information there. So you guys really need to check it out. My Instagram and Facebook are there. I would really appreciate it if you guys would come follow me on Instagram and maybe add me on your Facebook. And those links are down there as well. But let's talk about some things you can do to save fuel. Now, first of all, let's talk about the exterior. And I don't want to spend a lot of time here, but obviously big visors that hang down that create wind drag, even those hood mirrors that all these companies require now. If you're with a company where you don't have to have that stuff, take it off. Obviously, weight is another big one. Your tires. Let's talk about tires for a second. Everybody made fun of Obama when he said this, but it's true. Your tire pressure can really affect your fuel economy. I currently run mine, and there's a big debate about what the correct pressure should be. I run all of my tires in the winter time around 105. And so I've got reasons for doing that. Basically, you're trying to reduce the rolling resistance so that your truck doesn't have to work so hard to move down the road. Now, the great thing about all the things I'm telling you is that they'll also work on your personal vehicles. So obviously, guys, don't go out and put 105 pounds of pressure in your car tires, but see what your manufacturer's recommended pressure is for your car tires and check them periodically. On your personal vehicles, probably once a week. On your truck, I check mine every other day, and so I would encourage you to do that. Now, another thing you can do, since I mentioned weight, let's talk about weight next. Don't buy unnecessary fuel. If you fill up every single time you stop and get fuel, you're carrying around 400 or 500 pounds of extra weight that is making your truck work harder than it needs to work. Obviously, don't run it down to so low you run out, or to where you start picking up trash at the bottom of your tank. But, run it down to a quarter of a tank. And when you're delivering your load, you shouldn't have more than a quarter of a tank when you deliver your load. Now, there is an exception to that. If you're going to be in a high state like I was, California, I filled up in Arizona before I got to California, so I wouldn't have to buy any of that expensive fuel in California. Tire chains, snow chains. If you're carrying snow chains, as soon as the chain laws are lifted, get that stuff off your truck, put it in your garage, in your storage building, until you're required to carry them on your truck again. That's going to be some weight savings and some aerodynamic savings. Those chains hanging off the side of your truck or off the side of your trailer, if you're carrying them on your trailer, create more wind drag. You want to get rid of that. Obviously, if you can get a trailer that's got skirts on it, that's going to help. But as I said in this video, we're not really going to concentrate on accessories you can buy. That's something that everybody's had drilled in their head. We're just going to talk about some non-conventional ways that might help you that you don't hear every YouTuber talk about. Obviously, on the subject of weight, hauling lighter loads when possible. If you're with a company that offers you 2 or 3 loads, look at not only where the load's going, how many hills and things there are, but also the weight of the load. I've got a load I'm picking up in Minnesota that's 1,700 pounds. What do you think my fuel economy will be on that load? It'll be either close to 10 or over 10 miles a gallon. And that's I'm picking that up in a few days, I think on like March 1st or something. So I do try to get light loads. This one here that I'm currently delivering is 28,000. Occasionally you have to haul some heavy ones, and when you do, you do. But if you get the opportunity to haul some lighter stuff, you're going to burn less fuel, and that's going to help you in these trying economic times. All right, let's talk about another technique. When I first started driving, there was a technique that they would put an egg under your gas pedal. And the thing was, they wanted you to press it lightly and not break the egg. I've seen, especially with automatics now, so many guys just hammer the gas. They're at a red light. As soon as it turns green, it's to the floor. If you can gradually push the gas, say a quarter or halfway, and let the truck gradually build speed, it's going to save you money. Also, when you're getting off on an exit, if you can start slowing down before that exit and use your Jake brakes, that's also going to save you money. Try coasting up to the stop sign instead of going right up to the stop sign and slamming on your brakes. It's also going to make your brakes last longer. Also, use your cruise control as much as possible. Your cruise control, especially on these computerized trucks, is designed to get you optimal fuel economy. Now, I realize that it's going to be a dog going up the hills. This Peterbilt, as much as I love it, is not a hill climber, but it's not a race car either. It's a tool to make money, and it's not going to be the fastest thing on the highway. So, the next thing I want to talk about, and we're going to talk about this more, let me get to this one first. You all know idling's bad, and on these new emissions trucks, it's even worse. It's hard on the DPF filters and all of that. I'm not going to harp on that. You guys know that. I've said before, I've got a real smart audience, and so there's a lot of this stuff I can skip over because you guys already know. But if you've got auto start stop technology and it works, mine works when it wants to, use that. That's going to help you not idle unnecessarily. If you've got an APU, use it. You'd be surprised. walk around a truck stop sometime and look at all the guys with APUs that are sitting there idle in their truck, not even using their APU. Use your bunk heater instead of idling. Now, I'm in Washington State tonight. It's a little chilly outside, but it's not bad. So I probably won't use a bunk heater or nothing. Put some extra blankets on the truck. Blankets don't cost nothing, and they save you from having to idle your truck. You're going to save on maintenance. You're going to save on fuel. It's a win-win. And so that's something to consider. And the final thing I want to talk about is your speed. I've already mentioned cruise control. And this is where a lot of debate comes in. You know, we all agree the slower you go, well, I say we all agree, a lot of us agree that the slower you go, the better fuel economy you're going to get. But there's a trade-off there. We've only got 70 hours a week to work. So at what point do you lose what you gain by going slow in lost revenue potential? And that's the real thing you've got to consider. I've looked at it pretty close, and based on speed limits around the country, I think somewhere between 65 and 70 seems to be the best spot. At 65, you'll get some really great fuel economy. Now, sometimes you're going to have to go faster because of load requirements, or you get held up at traffic or something like that. But if you could do 63 to 65, you really save a lot of fuel in most trucks. Now, it does depend how your truck is spec'd, and each truck's a little different. The key is to find the sweet spot for your truck where you get the most power and the most economy together. But for sure, using that cruise control is going to make a difference. Now, here's the funny thing. On Monday, I'm going to have a video coming out on speed limiters. And just because I'm telling you to go slow for economy doesn't mean that's what I'm going to tell you my thoughts are on speed limiters. So I encourage you guys to join me on Monday, and we're going to talk about speed limiters. And I'll just caution you now, I'm not going to probably have the opinion you think I am. So you guys have a great weekend. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.